Right behind me I have the best BMW M that you can buy in 2026, and in the next minutes I'm going to explain you why you should get one as soon as possible. What I like most about this car is of course the engine. You know, BMWs are well known for the best engines, 3-liter engines on the market right now, especially the petrol versions. This car makes no exception, is the S58, a very reliable engine, a very powerful engine, and this exact model behind me has a M2 CS tune, which makes it a lot better. As you may know, the BMW M2 has 460 horsepower stock, but this now with the M2 CS tune has 530, which is quite a lot considering it's this small. It's smaller than the M4, it's smaller than the M3, but the funny thing is that it's almost the same weight. I think it's only like 30 kilo less maximum, something like this. But even though it has the same weight, because the car is a lot shorter, it makes it more fun. So I think it still has that M2 character. When you will drive this car, you will have the feeling that you are driving an M2, not a BMW M3 or M4, because of its length. Now let's take a look closer to this car. As you can see, it's wrapped black, also it has tinted headlights, and overall with black rims, the car looks pretty good. One more thing, what can you see about it? It also has a lowered suspension, which makes it a lot more aggressive in my opinion, and I think these kind of modifications are enough for this car. I wouldn't modify it more, I wouldn't put a lip on it, because I want to drive this car daily. When the BMW M2 came out, a lot of different opinions started to appear on the internet about its design. It's not a very round design, it's more a rectangular design, which it makes it more unique than the M4, than the M3, but it also makes it a bit weird. Let's take a Porsche for example. If you see a Porsche from, let's say, 40 years ago, it still looks good, and the design is similar to the 2026 model. Why? Because it's a round design, and the round design is more pleasant to the eye. This car is more rectangular. It looks very good now in 2026, but I don't know how it will look in, let's say, 20 years from now. But maybe you're not going to keep this car for that long, so I don't think it's a big problem for you. Under the bonnet, as I told you, we have the S58 engine, and also you can see that the original color was red. It's very interesting color also, but I prefer this full black look. I think it complements the car a lot better. What is more interesting, as I told you, it also have the M2 CS tune, which not only improves the power of the car, but it also improves the sound of the car, because the M2 CS sounds a bit louder. Also, this car has the M3 competition tune on the gearbox, which again makes it a bit faster. And one more thing, which is my favorite, is the remote start, which I'm going to show you right now. If you press 3 times on the lock button, it starts. We need to wait a bit, and the car starts, of course. One downside about this is that the car doesn't start with the valve opens. You need to get closer to the car, you get this menu, and you need to push the start and the brake in a normal way in order to start the car. As you can see now, only now the car is louder. And now let's talk about the sound a bit more. New BMWs don't have the best reputations in terms of sounds, especially for example the V8. I think the V8 sounds worse than a stock M3, M2 or M4. For example, if you buy the new M5, I don't think you have any pops. You have that V8 sound, okay, that's very nice, but it's a lot muffled, and I know this happens with any car nowadays. So overall, I'm a fan of the stock exhaust of the BMW M2, but the downside is when you try to push the car a bit more and you go over 4,000, 5,000 RPM, you hear the engine a bit more than the exhaust, and it gives you a feeling that the car, it's a bit struggling, and with an exhaust this disappears because you can't hear the engine anymore. Of course, the S58 has no problem in doing downshifts to high RPM, but is the sound that it gives you. Now, because we are inside the car, I want to talk about the space here. And as I told you, I own one of these, and I also own the BMW M2 Ti, and I bet if I put you here and I won't tell you which car is this, you could easily say that is the same space like a BMW M4 and M3. Of course, only in the front, because in the back you have enough space. I stayed in the back of this car and it's not that bad, I can assure you. So it's not a problem in staying in the back seats of this car. It's a lot better, for example, than a Porsche 911. If you don't know, these seats are an optional. You can buy the M2 with the normal 2 Series seats, which I think it's a big shame in my opinion. I don't think this is the minimum required seats for a BMW M, not a M240, but a BMW M2. You need at least these seats, and you can also opt for the bucket seats, but those seats are very, very rare on the M2s. On the M4 and on the M3 they are more common, but here on the M2 you'll find most of the cars with these seats, which are very, very good. One thing that makes the M2 interior more unique is that you have some ambient lighting specifically for the BMW M2, which you won't find on the M3 and M4, which I think looks very good, because BMWs, especially for 2 Series, 3 Series and 4 Series, they don't have the best ambient lighting on the market. Now, if we compare the M4 with this exact M2, it doesn't really make any sense. It has 530 horsepower with the M2 CS tune, and why would you buy the M4? Maybe the only reason it might be if you like the looks of the BMW M4. Other than that, I don't see any point. 1 year ago you couldn't buy the M2 xDrive, but now you can order the M2 xDrive. So I think BMW kinda killed the BMW M4. I mean, why should I buy the M4? Only because it's a 4 and this is 2, it's a bigger number. Why should I buy the M4? Only if you like the looks more. But I think if you slightly modify this car, like this one is here, it looks pretty well, and it's also less common than the BMW M4. Now let's also go for a very short drive. Let's put the car in drive and just start driving. I'm gonna put the gearbox on the lowest settings, and with this occasion I want to talk about this gearbox. When I first drove the BMW M4, I think it was, I thought that this gearbox, it's maybe a bit too soft, but I realized after 100 kilometers that this is the best gearbox that they could ever put in these cars. And why is this the best gearbox? Because you can also drive it daily, no problem whatsoever. If we compare this gearbox with the old gearbox, the DCT, is very big difference. Maybe the old gearbox was giving you more passion when driving the car, but this is a lot more reliable and it's a lot more user friendly. It's not the same experience that you would get in a BMW M3 E92, the V8. Of course that car is a lot more raw, or the BMW M5 E60 V10. This car is not that raw, not even by far, but it still have the BMW M feeling, no problem. Let's go for a short pull. That's what I'm talking about. This is why, you know, I'm already more happy because I did that. This is what a BMW should do.